Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm so glad you could join us because, well, today we are taking a pure, refreshing escape into travel and history.
Right, we all need that right now.
We really do. Like zero politics, no stressful debates, just an absolutely incredible destination.
A total mental vacation.
Exactly. So I want you to imagine standing in a spot where you can literally hop between 3 European countries in like 3 steps.
Which is wild.
It is.
Yeah.
And then, you wander down the street to soak in this naturally boiling 163-degree spring water.
And that's not even the best part.
No, because finally you wrap up your day by eating basically your body weight in deeply discounted factory chocolate.
Yes.
All while, standing in the shadows of a 1,200-year-old empire.
It sounds made up.
It really does. But today, using a big stack of travel brochures, expat guides, and historical reviews, we are taking you to Aachen, Germany.
And honestly, it is just a phenomenal case study of a city. Oh, absolutely. Like when you look through all these materials, you don't just see your standard, picturesque European tourist trap.
Right.
You see a place that is defined entirely by its edges, by its borders, its geological faults, and its ability to constantly rewrite its own identity, all while balancing on top of these ancient ruins.
Okay, I actually want to start with that idea of edges.
Sure.
Specifically the physical ones, because the geography here is just, well, it's wild.
It really is.
I was looking at a brochure for this double-decker bus tour, one of those open-air cabriolet buses.
Oh yeah, the tourist ones.
Right, and it drives you away from the old town, past the hospitals, and straight up a hill to this spot called the, let me get this right, the Dreiländerpunkt.
You nailed it, the border triangle.
Thank you. Yes, so this is the exact border triangle where Germany, the Netherlands, and Belgium literally collide.
It's just a single point on a map.
Right. You get off the bus, and you can casually walk through 3 nations in seconds.
Which is a cool party trick.
Exactly. Now, the guides suggest this makes the city inherently cosmopolitan, but I have to push back on that a little bit.
Oh, how so?
Well, does drawing arbitrary lines on a map really make a place a cultural melting pot? Because to me, living on a border usually just means, you have to deal with more customs checkpoints.
Well, that's a fair point, but you have to look at how a border functions when it's like that close to your daily routine.
Okay.
When your local geography allows you to just walk across international lines to buy groceries or, grab a beer.
Right.
The concept of a rigid nation becomes incredibly fluid. It really forces a culture of exchange.
That makes sense.
But what makes Aachen so unique isn't just its spatial geography, it's its temporal geography.
Temporal geography.
Yeah. The depth of the history sitting on those specific borders is just staggering. I mean, this was the absolute heart of the Carolingian Empire.
Okay, wait, stop right there. Because I feel like Carolingian Empire is one of those terms that gets thrown around in European history, and a lot of us just nod along pretending we remember our high school history classes.
Fair enough, yeah.
So give me the quick, 5-year-old version. Who were the Carolingians and why do they even matter?
Okay, think of Europe right after the fall of the Roman Empire.
Okay, so it's a mess.
Exactly. It's fractured, it's chaotic. Then, in the 8th century, this Frankish king named Charlemagne comes along.
Right, Charlemagne.
And he essentially violently unites this massive chunk of Western Europe. He actually becomes the first Holy Roman Emperor.
Okay, got it.
So the Carolingian Empire was his domain. And out of all the places in this massive new empire he just built, he chose Aachen.
Wow.
Yeah, he chose it to build his primary palace and make it the absolute center of his power.
And the crazy thing is, the physical evidence of that choice is completely unavoidable when you walk through the city today.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Like, you have the massive Aachen Cathedral, obviously. But the architectural detail in the guides that absolutely stopped me in my tracks was the town hall.
Yes, the town hall is fascinating.
Right, because it's this beautiful, towering, Gothic structure in the old town. And it was built in the 14th century, but they built it directly on top of the original foundation walls of Charlemagne's palace.
Yeah, it's what architects and historians call a palimpsest.
A what?
A palimpsest.
Okay, explain that.
So it originally refers to an ancient manuscript scroll, like where the original writing was scraped off so the parchment could be reused for a new text.
Oh, but you can still see the old ink.
Exactly. You can still see the faint traces of the old writing underneath.
Oh, that is a cool word.
Right. And Aachen is basically an architectural palimpsest. You have these 14th century leaders scraping away parts of the old empire, but literally using Charlemagne's physical stones to build their new era of power.
Wow.
The history isn't just preserved, it's physically supporting the present.
That is a brilliant way to look at it. Yeah. Because you have these rich historic halls, like the Coronation Hall, inside that very town hall.
Right.
Where the Roman German kings were actually crowned. And today, they use that same exact space to hand out the International Charlemagne Prize to modern politicians.
It's all connected.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right outside that imposing heavy history, you have like normal 21st century life happening.
Oh, yeah, totally.
The guides literally describe walking past these ancient, towering medieval plazas, and you have to dodge a drunken bachelor party where a guy is wearing a pink sash and holding a massive beer.
It perfectly captures the city's vibe, honestly.
Such a great visual.
Yeah, the ghosts of Roman German kings are essentially forced to spectate modern pub crawls.
I love that.
But your earlier point about borders usually just meaning customs checkpoints.
Yeah.
That is actually a really crucial part of Aachen's story, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because while the borders are fluid today, there were times when those lines on the map became heavily enforced.
Right.
And when you enforce a border that tightly, it fundamentally alters human behavior.
Right, which brings a completely different kind of history to light. Because we read about this place called the Zollmuseum Friedrichs.
The Customs Museum.
Exactly. It's dedicated entirely to the history of these European borders. And there is a whole section on what they call the sinful border of the 1950s.
Such a great name.
It really is. And the economic realities of post-World War II Europe essentially turned ordinary citizens living near this border into, well, smugglers.
Yeah, let's look at the mechanism of why that happens, because it's fascinating.
Okay.
If you think of natural commerce like a river flowing between people, a rigid border is like building an artificial dam right across that river.
Okay, I follow.
The demand doesn't just magically stop because a politician drew a line on a map.
Right. People still want stuff.
Exactly. So the water, or in this case, commerce and human desire, it finds a way to leak through the cracks. It creates this highly pressurized black market economy.
That makes total sense.
So in post-war Germany, you had really high import taxes on certain goods, but those same goods were significantly cheaper just, steps away in Belgium or the Netherlands.
So it's a massive price difference.
Yeah, and that price differential creates a huge arbitrage opportunity for anyone willing to risk it.
And they were risking it for some genuinely baffling things.
Oh, completely.
Like, I was looking at the list of confiscated contraband in this museum, and we aren't just talking about sneaking, like, a little extra coffee or tobacco across the line.
Bro, it gets weird.
It gets so weird. They have a collection of forbidden souvenirs that includes ivory, snakeskin, crocodile bags, and wait for it, stuffed bears.
Stuffed bears?
Yes. I'm just trying to picture a 1950s customs officer interrogating a very nervous tourist who is holding a taxidermy bear.
It's hilarious.
Why were they smuggling stuffed animals?
Well, it just shows how borders distort economics and psychology, When a good is suddenly restricted, its perceived value just skyrockets.
Right, because you can't have it.
Exactly. The artifacts in that museum really highlight the absurdity of it all. You have a completely arbitrary line running through a literal forest, and suddenly, ordinary people are risking prison time to secretly transport a crocodile bag from one side of an invisible line to another.
It's so absurd when you put it like that.
It is. It proves that borders are incredibly fragile constructs, but they wield immense psychological power.
It's fascinating. But honestly, it also sounds incredibly stressful.
Oh, no doubt.
I think if I were living in Aachen back then, dodging customs agents with a stuffed bear under my coat, I would need a serious spa day.